have Jonathan Pfahl. Now, where we are here tonight at Rockstar Hubs, that's his baby. And if he wouldn't have given up being a rock star a couple of years ago to become a business mentor and a business rock star, so to say, then we wouldn't all be here tonight. So the theme tonight is speaking and selling from stage. So ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Jonathan Pfahl.
Thank you, Anik. Thank you so much. Very quick correction, because a lot of you here do know me. Giving up my career as a rock star 2 years ago to become a businessman wasn't quite the actual truth of the story. But let me start off by giving you a bit of a background. And I'm conscious of our time tonight. Tip number one, if you are presenting and selling, do keep to a tight schedule. Number two, I've just taken all of my stuff out of my pockets, bar my microphone. That's another little thing that I was taught years ago. I wanted to say these things before I started on the real content, is there's nothing more off-putting if you're trying to give a really important point and you've got this big bulge hanging out of the side of your pocket, right? Especially if you're wearing jeans as tight as these, all right? So if there is a bulge, that is what is natural, my friends, okay? Humor, that's another thing as well. But let me go back to how it all started. Why are we called Rockstar? The company started 8 years ago. It was called Rockstar because more than 2 years ago, I used to be a singer in a rock and roll band. But before I started Rockstar, and as I was in a band, I was also working at a company called Goldman Sachs. And I was hopeless. Every time I got nervous, I would speed up my voice. And I got nervous a lot because I was one of the youngest they ever hired in front office to be facing wealthy clients to try and pitch them to invest money into Goldman Sachs. Now, the minimum or typical investment was about $3 million to $10 million, because that's where I'm from, Australia, so Australian dollars. So you can imagine the typical age of the people that I was trying to present to, trying to convince them to give me $3 to $10 million were people my father's age. And I was at the time 21. So I got nervous a lot. And when I got nervous, I would speed up my voice, which is a natural trait that a lot of us do. And as a result, I would stutter ridiculously, hopelessly, because I was already nervous. And when we're nervous, we speak fast, right? So when you get challenged, or when you have someone say, mate, my daughter is older than you, I wouldn't give her a penny of my money to manage. Why should I give it to you? I learnt the lesson, and I would stutter very, very badly. My release from all of that was being a singer in a rock and roll band, because I can sort of sing and can sort of play guitar and the keyboard. And that was a fantastic experience because I was relaxed. I didn't have to worry about convincing someone to give me $10 million. I was convincing someone to enjoy themselves, which is something that I naturally like to do as well, and hopefully share songs that I had written with the band that were of good humor and nature. That's where the name of Rockstar came from. The journey when I moved to the UK 11 years ago was I was on the tube one night and I read an ad in the back that said, come to this free event and learn how to be a property millionaire. And this company was a great company. I went to the free event, what have I got to lose? And unlike other companies at the time who were selling off-plan developments in certain parts of Spain or Northern England, this was a company purely saying, this is what we do, this is what we have achieved, and if you're serious about building a property portfolio, you can either go and do it yourself, take the free advice, good luck to you, or you can pay us to mentor you. And we'll take you out in the field, and we'll show you how to build what we have done. And these are our mentors. And it costs £2,500 a day, and you get 1 full day a month, and you get support in between each day. And you can pay for 1 month, 3 months, or 6 months. And as a result, I paid 3 months up front because I've always believed in mentoring. I think if you're going to do something well in business, the fastest way to do it is to find someone who has already achieved exactly what you want to do. And if you find that person and you get them to show you how to do it one-on-one, I promise you it is the fastest way to achieve your goal in business, without question. So I did. I paid for my mentor. I had to do all the homework. I chose my area, my market, my research, etc. And but my first day, day one, I sat there in the person's living room looking as pretty as I could. He did all the negotiation. He brought in his lawyer, his finance team, his builders. I had made 20 times the investment on day one because we bought that property very much undervalued, refurbed it, remortgaged it, and it allowed me to do it all over and over again. The purpose of this story is after a year, I wrote back to them having bought a large number of properties in London, and I said, "You've changed my life, thank you." They came back to me and said, "You're probably our best student. Would you like to be a mentor for us? Would you also please come in to our events in front of 100, 200 people and share your story to help us upsell what we do?" And that's when it all came back. It wasn't me with a guitar singing a crappy song. It was 150 people who wanted to hear my story. But they saw some potential. They saw I was confident, I had a good story, and they pulled me aside and said, "We think you could be very good at presenting not just the mentoring program, but also our workshops as well." And they said, "We'd like to introduce you and pay for you to be trained by, firstly, David Shammy." Now, has anyone heard or met this guy before? He's from Salt Lake City in the US. Constantly, this guy could sell ice to Eskimos, right? He's a bit dorky. You know, not many of us these days still wear glasses with a moustache. He wears horrendous suits. Sorry, David, if you're watching, I love you, I remember you, I respect you. Awful bright ties. But he sells ice to Eskimos. He sells sand to people in Egypt, right? He is an absolute knack. And the theory that I'm going to tell you tonight is the principles that he taught me. And later on down the line, I also got taught how to sell from stage from this gentleman, Dr. Rohan Weerasinghe. Has anyone heard of him? He's more familiar in the UK. Good guy, good speaker?
Really nice.
Excellent. You look like his uncle, actually.
Thank you very much.
There you go. Yeah, okay. Well, some of you know him. He, professional speaker all around the world, has created his own business off the back. So please, let me start by saying, I did not learn this from singing crappy songs in empty pubs in Australia. I was taught professionally by some of the best in the world. And what I want to share with you tonight, and as a result, I've sold well over £3 million worth of product. Most of it is, of course, Rockstars. And we are the largest mentoring company for entrepreneurs in the UK. We opened the hub to combine mentoring with co-working with investment. So we've mentored 8,000 different businesses in the last 8 years, and now we can say to our clients in-house, you can still just come in and have your hours mentors, your 2 hours, 4 hours with your mentors each month, and you pay for that, or why don't you work from here? Here's full-time or part-time space in the heart of the city. You get everything you need to run your business from, but included in your office space is 6 hours of mentoring a month. You don't have to have all 6, but you've got up to 6 every month. And we've just opened our first private investment fund that we own here in the hub as well. So 40% of our companies that are in here, we've invested in, and they obviously have to be here because we're shareholders and we want to give them all the support they need to grow. The other 60% are businesses who don't need investment, but they value mentoring and they like an interactive place to work from. But it didn't start from nothing. That was the story, that was the journey. So, first tip I give you, if you are looking to sell to an audience, first point I'll give you, which isn't there, know who your audience is. Have an understanding. If you are looking to sell your product or service from stage, you should be the one targeting the list of potential invitees to come. So there's point 0.5, firstly. Make sure you will achieve more success in your sales if you have done the targeting and know who is the most relevant person to be selling and be in front of. That's very, very important. Tonight, I've got really an understanding of who you are and why you are here, so it doesn't happen all the time. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it happens, other times it doesn't. So tonight's a great example. I haven't targeted anyone, Anik has hosted the event here this evening. So I don't have an understanding of who you are and what your requirements are, and that does happen. So therefore, I'm going to be more general. First thing when you're telling or selling from stage, never more, whether you're selling for 2 hours, 1 hour, 5 seconds, never more than 3 points. That's number one. If you're trying to get a message across to persuade people who didn't know you at all half an hour ago, or may know you slightly, never more than 3 points. And the 3 points I want to share in terms of value this evening are these 3. Trust and personality types give value and create genuine urgency. So I'm going to go through them now. First and foremost, whenever people ask me about selling on stage and speaking in public, these are the 2 quotes I always say and share. And hopefully you resonate with this. The first one is, no one buys from anyone they do not like or trust. Do you agree with that? Retail is excluded, right? When you're buying your groceries at Sainsbury's and the young lady is at the checkout till who is just not even on her phone at the same time while swiping and not looking you in the eye, you're not going to say, that is it, I'm off to Waitrose. We don't do that. Or if you really want that jacket or t-shirt on Amazon, or there's no human being there, or if you're in a store and the person's really rude but you don't care because you want that dress, you bypass that. But in the world of professional services, do you agree? No one's going to buy from someone they don't like, and therefore, and then can see that leading to trust. Do you agree with that? Yes. That's the first most important thing. So you need to get them to like you. You need to get them to trust you. This is a really interesting point. You may have heard this before, because I know you obviously get advice and expertise from a lot of different speakers. 24 hours after they've heard you speak, and this goes for tonight as well, you will forget 80% of what I've said. Tomorrow morning, hopefully you wake up and say, I really enjoyed last night's event. And if I was to say, what did I talk about? You would be able to mention 20%. That's it. But no one forgets how you made them feel. Does that make sense? Do you agree with that? Okay. It's so true. It is so, so true. So let's therefore talk about what David Shammy first taught me, and that is about this. Has anyone seen anything similar to this before? Okay, good. Enjoy your night. See you later. All right. There are 4 different types of personalities. David Shammy would sell ice to Eskimos because he was a genius at being able to leverage off interaction to begin with, get a really good feel based on the age, the dress sense, the looks on your faces. He would be able to know who is my majority in the audience within the first 5 minutes. And he would give us tips as to how you look for them, how you choose them, etc. And what he always did anyway, in every pre-prepared slide and presentation he had, he always made sure he was selling the same thing. At the end of the night, when people were running up to buy a £7,500 property mentoring program, or up to, if you want 6 months, a £15,000 property mentoring program, which I saw him sell, which I then sold many of in the space of 2 hours. These were strangers who came in off the street and were parting with £7,500 in 2 hours, sometimes 2,500, sometimes a lot more. They were the different brackets. Amazing. And how he did it, that's the trick. If you know the different personality types, the trick is being able to source where the weight is. And if you're not sure of where the weight is of the room, you ask questions in order to find that out. So this is how you do it. I'm going to start with blue, I'm going to go to red, then green, and then yellow. So let's start with blue. Cautious, precise, deliberate, questioning, and formal. These are the people, that's what resonates with them. They love charts. They love stats. They live on the stuff. it justifies their reasons and their proof to themselves as to why they should buy. So whatever you're selling, you always need to show the reason why they, your clients, will be better off if they are purchasing your product or service because of the trend in the market, if it's a positive, or because of the negative signs that's happening with what they're already doing. The statistics, the blue people, that is what they need. They don't care about you, whether they like you or not, they don't care. Show me and prove to me that you've got something that people, and justify why I should be buying this product or service. Okay? Who feels they're a blue person here? And you know what? That's about the right percentage. Because they're so busy doing their charting at home, they never come to networking events or evening events anyway. The good news is, this is always the minority. So keep that in mind. It's usually the minority. Let's do red. Competitive, demanding, determined, strong-willed, purposeful. Who feels that they're a red personality? Okay? And the gentlemen who haven't put their hand up, I know you are, that's fine. This is what resonates with them. It's about them and it's about their dream. This is a photo. I put this presentation together today and I literally Googled, I tried two things. I did super yachts and fast cars, and then I just went to the images section, and they were all a bit naff. And then I Googled money and success. And you know, you get those awful images of people, men and women in shirts and ties, throwing fake money in the air. That crap, you know what I mean, right? And then I'm scrolling down through the images and I came across this one. A very happy, but yet quite ordinary guy, I'm guessing British, with a huge gold watch on his private jet, with a beautiful woman who we all imagine is the actual hostess, wrapping his arms around him. It's that vision, it's that dream of success. One of the key things that David Shammy would always do, because even though he was very successful, a multimillionaire himself, his persona with his appearance did not at all resonate with the young, middle-aged, most of the time men and women, the driven, I don't care about you, that's the vision. If this is going to help me get to where I'm going to be, that's what I want to do. And when you want to resonate with those people, that's how you talk. That's, you know, you pick your volume up. You explain to them, this is going to get you that dream. This is going to get you that. You need our help. You need our product and service, because that will be you. Certainty. And what David used to say is, you don't have to like me. And I'm guessing you probably don't like me. He would say that intentionally to target those people, because often they're the ones who make up the majority. So remember, blue's the minority, red tend to be the majority. I'm sick of my job. I don't like my job. I want a better lifestyle. I've come to this event, or I'm interested in your product or service because it'll help me get personally better. And let me say something as well at this point so I don't forget. Even if you're selling to a room full of lawyers and you're selling a software that helps law firms build and develop new things, people buy from people. You need to remember that even though it could be, and I'm sure it isn't with all of you, I'm sure you have wonderfully exciting products and services, but if it is a software for law firms, the reasons and benefits why it would be great for them, it's not just about the software for their firm. You can leverage off what that product is and use terms and phrases and content in order to entice them to say, I like you, I trust you, you've hit a nerve here, and I want to buy from you. People buy from people, no matter what your product or service is. All right, let's do the green ones. Caring, encouraging, sharing, patient, and relaxed. All right, who's a green person? Okay, excellent. Usually, It's their situation. What means more for them, what means more to them than anything is the people they love and they care about. Their family, their savings, their time. Let's go back to selling software to a law firm. The most beautiful thing about this platform is it is so much more cost efficient and time efficient that it gives you a lot more time to spend out of the office with your family. It's not about you, it's about them. They resonate with you more so through stories. They resonate more with you if it's about creating scenarios that will create a reaction with them. And it's about them, it's what they care about. And again, reds are the majorities, there are a lot of greens in there as well. The last one are the yellows. Sociable, dynamic, demonstrative, enthusiastic, and persuasive. My yellows, okay, it's about them resonating with you. They want to know more about you. If you share a bit of your story with them, it resonates with them instantly, right? So there's an image, my wife and my kids in Paxos, which is a place where we have a villa. That was our 5-year anniversary only in July of this year. We invited 16 friends out to this beautiful piece of paradise. That is a bar called Ben's Bar in Monadendry. That's where we had our wedding and our reception 5 years ago. You are trying, of course, at the same time, people resonate with that. The fact that you've opened up and let them in, these people will always buy into that as well. And I personally believe, I said before, people buy from you if they like you and trust you. And there is an instant, always, the red people don't mind if you show what you do and show a bit of success, especially if you've achieved success, they want to see it. That's the biggest hesitant the red people have. Why should I listen to you? So even though you sell the dream to them, they will have that objection of, why should I even listen to you? So you need to, in a way, show and prove to them that you are the expert. And you don't have to be talking about your villas in Greece, for goodness sake. What you need to be talking about is what is relevant to them. So that's the most important part. You will sell more from stage if you are able to, throughout your presentation, you're still selling the same thing. When the reds and the yellows and the greens look at a chart, they switch off, but the blues are like this. When you're talking about, this is for you, this is what you're going to do, it's going to make it happen. The blues turn off, yeah, whatever, I don't care. The reds fire up. When you start telling your story, the yellows fire up. When you start explaining the benefits for them and their family and their kids, the greens fire up. And that is the trick, my friends. Being able to suss out who is your audience quickly and knowing where to put the weight. And you can't do that in 5 minutes. That takes time to do. But as you're going through, I can see it right now. I mean, I've asked the question. So I just put a little trick then because I wasn't that sure. Stuff it, I'll ask. And I got the answers. Does that make sense? Okay. So, final one is give value. Whether they pay for it, like you guys have tonight, whether it's free, whether they pay £1,000 for it. People buy from people they like or trust. So the best way to show trust is to give them value. Is tonight any help at all?
Yes.
Getting some insights? Yes. That's what we call value. I'm not selling to you. I told you briefly at the beginning what I do. And you might be thinking, okay, I might need an office, I might like mentoring, that's great. I didn't sell. Give value. Make sure that you get something first, always. Never sell until you give value. Absolutely key. It positions you as the expert in your field. You've got to be positioned as an expert. It encourages interaction, which is very important. It allows you to demonstrate your USPs. It makes it easier to sell. So what I do not do is death by PowerPoint. What you know is that I am pretty shit at PowerPoint. It's a white page with black font. In the automatic font that was given to me, which I believe was Arial, but I didn't even change it. Some people have amazing ability to, all this crap going on everywhere, which is wonderful. And there's nothing wrong. I shouldn't call it crap. It's wonderful. But I purposely do this. Every presentation, white, logo, 5 bullet points, because I don't want you to be looking at that. tomorrow morning, 80% of what I say is going to be gone. But you're going to remember how I made you feel. So I don't want you to be reading an essay. I sure as hell do not. I mean, we had an event here last night. Some of you were here. That lawyer, my presentation, it helps in creating likability and trust. And it positions you as the expert in your field. You know, death by PowerPoint. Can't do it. Okay? USPs. That is the biggest thing. We are living in a global competitive world. You have to overcome the objection of, why should I buy your product? Why should I? And when you are giving value, that's the time that allows you to show why you are different, because you've got to be different. And the final thing is create a genuine urgency. Create a genuine urgency. There should not, if you are trying to sell something on the night, I do not believe in, if you are professionally trained to sell something on the night, I get really annoyed when people say, if at a specific event, and for you tonight, book a free consultation with me. Let's exchange business cards. What a waste. You've got all their data anyway. There should never be another choice. It's either this product or nothing else. Nothing is free on the evening. Freebies follow. Everyone who doesn't sign up, you can then engage with them again with a phone call, email, campaign, whatever afterwards. The offer on the night is not re-offered offline. It is a genuine, if you do this and pay for this right now, no one else is going to get this. If you do it and commit to me tonight, commit to yourself, commit to your future, you are going to get this tonight worth this. And no one else gets that. Even if they book in a week's time and ask for it, no. Keep to that principle. Add a product. If you want people to give you their card on the night, they need to leave with something tangible, because they've just met you. You are selling a pipe dream. 80% of us sell services. But if they're parting with money on the evening, so with the mentoring program, you got this big pack of DVDs, which you're never going to watch. I guarantee. No one ever did. It's pretty good because they weren't that good. But it was a big, physical, tangible, glossy-looking pack. That's worth 15 grand. But it made that reaction because it's something tangible. What's easier to sell, a product or a service? So the product is included in it. It makes it tangible. Final thing is, you need a great sales team with you. It can be one person, two ideal. The speaker does not spend 2 hours up on stage as the expert, showing his lavish lifestyle and his success, proving you've got something great that people should buy, tapping into all of the different personality types, having everyone in your hand ready to say, I want it, and then say, I've got my card machine here, people. We don't do that. And that, my friends, is my presentation. If there are any questions, please, I'm here to answer. Thank you. Five minutes, I think we got. Yeah, we're on time, which is great. Any questions? Yes.
What was your favourite song to sing when you were on stage?
Cover? Cover, so you know it. I just think back to all the recent friends' weddings I've been back to in Sydney, because that's the only time I sing these days. It would have to be You Can Leave Your Hat On by Joe Cocker. That's always a good one. And it doesn't matter how drunk you are and how much you lose your voice, you can still just scream it out, so it works. Or You Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. Yes. Hopefully it's not another question about singing.
No, it's not. It's about blues and greens and all this stuff. So, if you get a feel for what's the balance, how far do you take that? Do you completely neglect the rest, or if you know that everyone is blue or green, or do you still balance it out?
Sure, great question. You've already got your slides there. That's how you prompt yourself, by the way. You're selling the same thing. Each slide, though, is a different image or a different solution for a different personality type. So, If you find that it's mainly red and yellows, right, which it usually is, with a touch of green, the chart you just simply spend less time on. If you find it's very green and very yellow, don't stand up all the time, right? That's another key thing. Whenever I used to do it, I always had a stool. So whenever you're telling the story, I'd always sit down like this, and your voice, your tone softens. Hence, no bulges in the pocket, right? And humour. I can now and then make people laugh. It's a very powerful key. You've got to have humour. It instantly, if you can do it, people remember that. It's how you make them feel. So if it's mainly green and yellow, you do this. You speak slower, softer. If you know it's red, it's louder. It's, this is for you. This is how we do it. This is what makes it done. And they're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Bye. Any other questions? Yes.
It's a similar question to Mark's actually, is about the sequence. Do you always go in the sequence that you gave us, or how would you determine?
No, I never start with charts. I tend not to start with the blues. I tend not to start with the blues. That's a really good question. I usually resonate first with the yellows and greens, as I did tonight. You have to show credibility from the word go. You have to show why should I bother even listening to you? And I do that through a story. And stories always resonate the most with green and yellows. Quick stories that make sense to them, that excite, that excite the reds, come typically later. So I tend to do naturally, because here's the other thing, by the way. You are all one of these 4 personality types. So you're naturally going to present the way that they listen. And that's the difficult part. If you are completely yellow and you are not red at all, how on earth can you create that side of yourself to appeal to the reds? And that's what these events are for. That's why it's great. It's why it's great to learn. If you're in the hub, I do 2 hours every Thursday, 3 till 5. If you want me to show you how to do it and book an hour with me anytime, I can do that for you. All right? But I'm naturally, I'm yellow. I'm yellow.
I understand. What I mean is, so you said gauge your audience. So if, as you walk into an event, you've gauged your audience. So whatever sequence the colours are, do you then start the sequence in a particular order on the basis of the audience?
Again, no, because your slides are already there.
Okay.
Your slides are already there. It's the percentage of time that you spend, right? You're a red right there, aren't you? In the black shirt?
Me?
Yeah?
I'm yellow. I actually did this.
You did this before? All right. I would pick you as a red, personally. But you're the great example. When I'm doing that, you're like, yeah, yeah. So you may think you're yellow, but you're probably actually red. You probably don't care too much about my story. It's about you, right? There you go. Any other questions? Yes?
Would, like a case study, like a previous client case study, would that fall under green, like it's about them? Like you're talking about how you did that and you achieved that with somebody else?
Perfect. Absolutely. That's definitely a green. It's definitely a green. It depends on the outcome, but it would also be red as well. But that's not true. That case study can be turned into any of the 4. Any of the 4. It's how you finish it off. This is what we achieved. And it might be Mary Smith, right? Mary Smith came to us, bought this, did this program, bought this product, whatever, and this is what she achieved on it. It's how you finish that sentence. The great thing about Mary is she loves to travel with her family, right? You know, Mary always wanted a Ferrari. However you want to play it, but it's the outcome of that story. It fits into all the different things. Yes. There was someone else? Yes?
So how you made them feel? Was
Yeah.
there any particular emotion you want to evoke? So like top emotions, or just kind of
How do you feel right now?
feel pretty happy and determined?
What do you feel about me?
You're right.
Say that again?
You seem confident and expert at what you do.
Yep. Is it helping you in terms of building trust about what I've built, what I've done, and my brand?
Yeah.
That's what I want.
So you kind of set
What you want people to feel, my friends, is what you want to achieve as an outcome. Tonight, I'm not about selling, but there are different ways that you can do it. I never do hard sell, ever. Never. It just doesn't suit me. It won't suit me. And here's the beautiful thing. If you get it right, you never need to hard sell. The only way you need to do it, your hard sell is point 3, genuine urgency. Because if it's genuine, right, it's not a hard sell. Because you say with the right tone, my friends, who here is interested in tonight? Who would like to take this forward, right? And all this sort of stuff. Okay, seriously, do it for yourself. If you don't do it, you're missing an opportunity, because tonight and tonight only, this is what you get. And I want to work with the people who are serious. I want to work with the people who have that commitment. Because if you do this with me tonight, you're going to be the ones that I'm going to be giving you that opportunity to first. To give you that success that you want. To give you that time with your family. To let you fix the problem of what's happening in your business based on the charts that I was saying. And give you the freedom and opportunity to really achieve what you want to in life. So if you're doing it, seriously, do it now. That's how you do it. Yep.
Can we,
Yes.
sorry to interrupt.
We're 2 minutes over, so
I'm
yes.
German, so everything runs clockwork.
Yes,
here.
okay.
Right.
3
If you
minutes
just
over.
approach Jonathan later and then ask you a question.
I am here, absolutely.
Let's give him a huge round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you.